Hello, my beautiful ladies. Today I want to talk about a fun topic that I love discussing with women, and I always find it so interesting in what they have to say as well. And that is how my definition of luxury has changed over the years. And so let's get into it. So how did I define luxury? Well, in my 20s, my definition of luxury was to get $10 million. I don't know about you, but that was just the number that I had. And so what did that mean for me? That meant getting an education. That meant building my career, AKA being in the building phase. And so shifting into my 30s, my definition switched and shifted to luxury means to me traveling, staying at nice hotels, maybe going to the spa with some girlfriends, having nice clothes. So that was my definition of luxury in my 30s. Now, starting to shift to my late 30s, early 40s, my definition of luxury was having nourished skin, feeling well rested. When I get sick, actually being able to rest and not have to push myself. Having space, not just time, not time where maybe my mind is rushing and going, but space where I'm relaxed. That is what my definition of luxury shifted to. And so it's interesting because I found that when I first started out with, wanting to have in my mind luxury, right? Really, that started with the building phase. And that's where a lot of us independent women are in, right? We're in the building phase. We have the rights to do that now. We have the rights to have our own bank account. We're in the corporate world. And so, it's such a great time to be in that building phase. But one thing that I found was in order to be in the building phase and at the level that I was at and at the level I was going, right? Working long hours, trading off on sleep, drinking lots of coffee, pushing my body, pushing. I was finding that, yes, I was starting to maybe reach those luxuries that, was my definition in my 30s, right? Getting to travel and maybe staying at a nice hotel, going to a nice spa. But I was finding that in order to get those luxuries, I was trading off on my basics, right? Like I said, not getting good sleep, drinking coffee, pushing my body, not having well-nourished skin, not being consistent with self-care routines. So it's interesting, in order for me to push at that luxury level, I found that I was feeling depleted, right? And exhausted. Yes, you can stay at a nice luxury hotel, but if you've barely slept in 3 days, right? And your mind is racing and you can't even be present at where you're at, how is that experience, right? And I'm not saying to fully trade off these luxuries. I'm just sharing how my definition of luxury has changed over the years and what has been important to me. Do I still, in my 40s, want to go stay at a nice hotel? Sure. Do I need to do it at a level where I'm costing myself, sleep, and I'm not taking care of my body and I'm running my body into the ground? I'm not sure that that's how I want to do it, right? And so what did I start to do to help this? And I wrote some notes down, so let me just take a look real quick. Yes. So how did I start to rebalance these priorities, or how did I start to rebalance these goals? And I will say that learning about feminine energy was definitely a really great way for me to start to learn how to rebalance. Do I only want to have, be at the luxury level, but have hardly any of my basics covered? In the long run, you can only go for so long, right? And I'm going to be going more into this as I share more about what I've learned about feminine energy. And I absolutely love having this conversation with women. And it's funny because a lot of women are like, oh my gosh, yes, I see what, I see what you're talking about. And another thing that's amazing to me is I realized that, building my career, and I love my career. I love, what it's called masculine energy. And if you haven't watched any of my feminine energy videos, definitely check those out so you can learn more about what I'm talking about. But ladies, I realized, I think I may have been 40, or I think I was 40. And I think it was the first time that I may have gotten COVID. That is the first time that I did not work through being sick. That is the first time. Normally, if I got sick, I just pushed through. If I needed to stay home, I would still be in my bed with my laptop and I would still be working at least for most of the day. But I have never gone throughout my career, and especially even in education, right? And in college and university, I have never gone through those 20 years of when I get sick, actually stopping and resting, actually closing the book and lying down and resting my body so I can heal, actually closing the laptop and getting that well nourishment so I can take care of myself. And I couldn't believe it. And honestly, I hadn't even been paying any attention to this until that time where I felt so bad that I literally, all I could do, I couldn't even stand up and walk over. I had to crawl out of my bed, grab my laptop, pull it up, open it, set up my out of office reply. And it's the first time that I said, other than maybe going on a vacation where I'm going out of the country or something like that. It's the first time that I've written, I'm out sick right now. If you have any emergencies, please text me. I will not be online. And I closed that laptop and I did not open it again for 3 days. I slept. And I have never done that previously. And honestly, like I said, I wasn't even aware. I hadn't even gotten to a point where I even thought about that I haven't been taking out rest time, right? And when you're in your building phase, ladies, yes. And when you're younger, absolutely, right? That is the time. If that is what feels good to you, that's the time to push through. You're building, you're creating all of those great things. But as you start to shift into your call it mid 30s, 40s, the game changes, right? It starts to be, hopefully you've started to build up certain things. So now you can start to learn how to balance out. So I'm so excited to be sharing more on feminine energy and ways that I learned to, okay, now I realize I've pushed through and I've pushed my body past its point that it can handle. All right, so now what do I do? Where do I go? What's the next step? If it's not working 40, 50, 60 hours a week, then what does my life look like? how are things going to change and what's going to be helpful for me, and having a, having a female body and having the hormones and all of those different things, right? Because what works for men, or what works for the masculine energy, maybe even what works for females who have very high masculine energy. What's going to work for them is going to be different than what I realized I needed and what was going to be good for me and healing for me. All right, I'll catch you in the next one. Bye.